Hello, I'm Stephen Sschrader, and I'm going to be the Libertarian Party presidential nominee. For over a week now, the national news has been nothing but Democratic impeachment shift show all the time, and I've frankly been loving it. In one of the earliest videos of this series, I stated my proposal that the Democratic Party is in the process of tearing itself apart. Well, this impeachment is proof positive of that taking place because the Democratic Party leadership has realized that there are no Democrats capable of defeating Trump in November. So they're doing this as their only way they can hurt the president. And, well, it's not going to work. Oh, as for beating President Trump, I believe there's at least one libertarian that is capable of beating him. Me. Granted, the odds aren't good, but they're still a lot better than anything any Democrat has to offer. Now, let's take a look at the articles of impeachment that they publicly went with on this. The first one is that Trump abused the political power of his office. Well, fun constitutional fact. For something to measure up to the standard of high crime or misdemeanor, which is what's required to impeach a president, it has to actually be on the books as a crime. And abuse of political power is not a crime. Look it up. Besides that, if you think any politician would ever support legislation that would allow anybody to file criminal charges against them for performing the duties of their office simply because they did something that person doesn't like, well, I've got a bridge to sell you. Granted, it's covered with human feces and rusty needles, but still a darn pretty bridge. Now, let's take a look at the second article, impeding a congressional investigation. When the Founding Fathers set up our government, they did it in the form of three co-equal branches of service: administrative, legislative, and judicial. And one of the reasons they did this was so that the judicial branch would be able to adjudicate disagreements between the administrative and congressional branches. In other words, Democrats, you don't get to be Trump's judge, jury, and executioner on this. That's the job of the Supreme Court. So again, swing and a miss. Now, the most interesting thing to me is that when they vote on it this week, I don't think they have that good a chance of actually impeaching President Trump. The reason is that there are a lot of Democrats that are up for re-election in districts that went for Trump in 2016 and or in districts that have, because of this shift show, have swerved totally into Trump's bailiwick. In other words, I don't think they're going to risk their political careers just to make the Democratic National Committee look good. And like I said, well, in an earlier video, I'm going to be watching this vote with a big bowl of hot buttered popcorn and loving every minute of it. If you'd like to see the other videos in this series, go to my campaign website, Sschrader, Schrader, for president, the number 2020.com. I thank you, and goodbye.